Now, the story of a thief who became a prince. Yes, it's the classic folktale of Aladdin and his wonderful lamp. The timeless tale tells how a brave and kind boy changed his destiny. And now you can see it for yourself. It's showing at the Theatre of Marcellus at the Empress Palace from the 25th of November to the 4th of December. So for more on this, I'm joined now by Aladdin's good friend, Genie, but he also goes by Tshediso Kabulu. Thank you so much, Tshediso, for your time this morning. Welcome to the South African Morning. I was saying to you off air that I think I've watched all the versions of Aladdin because it's just such one of those stories that you grow up with as a child and you just kindly go off into adulthood. And now you're obviously having, I would imagine, being an African theatrical adaptation of Aladdin because it's very Middle Eastern. Just talk to us a little bit about it. So
the musical is so adapted to the now, the modern, the contemporary.
Yeah.
And it's not the original adapted one, it's a different version which also overexpose other important characters, not just Aladdin, but Aladdin's mother, the princess's friend, which is the one that have the seamstress, and it also gives more light also to things that we are currently facing, you know, like over being exposed to certain things that we do not like, but we do want to go forward. And it's so diverse. It's very diverse. It's for all ages, and it has amazing actors and actresses like Belinda Henwood, Darren King, Rowan Hartler. So those are veterans that we all know, myself. And so yes, it's all ages and it's an amazing show. The dancing is from hip hop, classical dance, contemporary, ballet, so people can come and view this amazing story.
Look, it is definitely, as you're saying, that it is it's a fuller story, and it gives you perhaps a more introspective perspective of exactly what are some of those characters that contributed to the plot of the you know, what we would know as the original film or the original theatre production as well. Do we have and can we experience a little bit of some South African realism being played out within the film, and it's or not the theatre but the theatre production? So some of the issues that we're facing within the country, are we able to relate to it and say, oh, okay, they're touching base on what's happening in modern day times, just with the Middle Eastern or the adaptation?
Definitely. Like looking at it now, we've never seen an African genie.
No.
For one. That's another one. And I think also the production itself is very diverse. And also other things that we also try to expose, that it gives a different African diaspora feel to it. That it's not just so Western, but it also any other person can also relate and say, I see myself as that person. I see the story that's been relayed into this person. I'd want to be that person.
Yeah.
So it has so many elements within the story, the different scenes, the different messages, inspirational messages that it brings to it.
You know, it speaks significantly to how some of the classics that we've come to enjoy, right? Even the older classics, of, you know, whether it's the Beauty and the Beast and the Sleeping Beauty and the likes, how they need to stop if they're going to truly be relevant. Because how many Sleeping Beauties can you watch and listen to and read about that do not give a more relevant perspective, especially to this younger generation? This younger generation is different from what we used to experience before, right? Where now it's about digitization, now it's about social media. I would like to see what Genie looks like tweeting, you know, and simply because of the space that we are occupying and also where young people are at right now. How important is it for productions? I mean, here we're talking Aladdin, but for productions to really start honing the fact that the youth that was there in the 1950s, when a lot of these productions actually came about, 1950s, 60s and the like, is something completely different to the youth that we have now.
I think also having to include different genres, like we do have hip-hop numbers, we do have like your like hip-hop is so relevant to the now, so we do not want to see ourselves actually just going into classical, which is all that, you know, which is not everyone is into classical, especially the now generation.
100%.
So it's always trying to adapt, like taking all of those classical and even African stories, not just the European stories, but also the African stories, and modernizing it so that the now generation can relate and can have a take-home message and say, actually, I can make it. And it also gives inspiration that no matter what genre you do, whether you're a classical trained, whether you're a hip-hop dancer, whether you're a piano dancer, whatever style that you are mastered in, there is a relevance that you can bring also to the theatrical spaces that we do. So I feel like a lot of directors and producers can also start contemporizing a lot of their work so that it doesn't speak only just to the older generation, but also to the new, you know.
Because they have to enjoy theatre.
Exactly.
Right? At the end of the day,
exactly.
I think what becomes so, it's a difficult conversation to have. It's about how do we make theatre more relevant for today's generation, the generation that has got TV on demand, that has got social media, that has got YouTube as an option of content, right? Content is being consumed from different points, right? How do we make theatre also another avenue of popular content consumption?
For me, I feel like it needs to be a conversation that we have as creatives, in a holistically speaking. And also it's about when we have to speak about these things, we have to make it so relevant that people can also be drawn in. That we're not just making things that are so about lines and everything, but relevance is so important. Also that everything is now, like it's digital, everything is so digital. Also with it, within the show, we also try to make it more visually. There's AVs, there's all of that. Not everything should be just live. So that itself is like an intake that people can also say, you know, like I wish that also people also be exposed to the many careers that we also have in theatre. That it's not just being on stage, but also behind the stage. There are also careers about that. So a lot of people, I feel like within our creation, we need to have conversations that draw people, 100%. That bring people, and it's not just we're excluding certain. I wish also people also would come to the thing of not just creating work that only speak to artistic people. Include also the person that's also behind, that's at the home, and they
like the technical director and the like. I want to speak about the costume creation here and the person that designed this costume. Won't you do us a favor, please? Because I've been staring at this since we actually began. Won't you just like take a little bit of a spin and come close to the camera so that we can take a look at your fabulousness. I mean, this is
me.
Oh, look at that thing. It is gorgeous. I mean, who designed this piece? I mean, it's absolutely beautiful.
Imported from India, so there was a designer. I forgot the name.
Yeah.
But this is the Genie, and the costumes. The other costumes are beautiful. Sure. It also fulfills the amount of dance, the amount of acting. So everything is colorful. It's beautiful. Like when I first saw my costume, I was like, wow, I'm ready to go.
It is a stunning, and the attention to detail. I mean, we're zeroing in on your feet right now, so you know you're famous. But the attention to detail is superb.
Wow,
but I think it speaks a lot to mind about how much thought was put into the process of actually being able to create this production. I want us to talk a little bit about your character, Genie.
Okay.
How different is it from what we've actually seen? I mean, you can stand there.
Okay. Should I stand there?
Okay. Revel in your awesomeness. You can just stand. Yeah, but like, how different is the character of what we've come to know as Genie? I mean, different people have played Genie, I mean, including Will Smith, you know, so what do you bring on as Genie to this production?
Well, this Genie incorporates dancing and acting.
Okay.
And within the dancing, I'm very African contemporary. It's not just only your modern classical, your dancing, but I'm also, within my dancing, I'm bringing different elements, African elements and European elements, so that it's also relevant to a lot of characters or a lot of people that can say, I want to be that Genie, you know. And like nowadays you've seen many characters also being exposed to a black person leading it, and that is also a good thing. So I'm bringing my African training, the who I am, my forefathers, my ancestors, and that's who I'm going to be. That's
okay, well, come sit this up. Come sit with it. As I said, it's gorgeous. We just needed to give the time to that. Diversity within this industry.
Yes.
Diversity and inclusion, especially when it comes to storytelling. Cinderella has always been white.
Yes.
You know, and it takes us a long time before Cinderella's black.
So true.
And Cinderella's it doesn't have to be a person. Cinderella can be a representation of. Genie, for example, is now black.
Yes.
You know, as before Genie was not black.
He always like blue.
You know,
yes.
blue.
Yeah.
Genie's blue. How important is it to start exposing even young people to the fact that people that create these stories don't need to look a certain color?
Yes, I think also there are a lot of stories that aren't told. Not just these modern ones, but also the African ones. And that's why I put a quest also to the creatives and to producers to also start including different races, different people, and, you know, not just also just giving a certain picture about, because also it's a way of secluding a target market. Like people do not know about theatre and all of that. So if having to diversify things, it allows people to dream. It allows people to come in. It allows people to say, I actually want to do that.
You've summed it up so beautifully. We've run out of time, unfortunately, but I want people to check this out. 25th until the 4th of December. Make sure that you go to Empress Palace. Check it out. It is just a beautiful product. And judging from that outfit alone, you can imagine how beautiful the production is. Tshediso, so much appreciated for your time this morning.
Thank you so much.